Hello, hello. Yes, I'm doing a live stream inside my own living room while I'm eating some dates and almonds. I'm just kidding. That doesn't qualify as a live stream. um, yeah. So, have you heard the news? So first of all, Biden has removed marijuana off the Schedule whatever list and made it a Schedule whatever. In other words, he made it. It's no longer considered as dangerous as heroin and crack and all these things. It's now, it's that's a positive thing. That's a good thing. I remember once when I was in jail, I'm sitting there. I'm in jail, and I looked, and everybody's all wearing their orange jumpsuit things and playing cards and everything. And I thought, I got this idea, bing, light bulb, you know. I know, I'll interview everybody about legalizing cannabis. And I went around, I said, hi, how you doing? Yes, I was wondering, are you a tweaker? Do you smoke tweak, crystal meth? And or crack cocaine or any of that? And sure enough, everybody everybody in jail is a tweaker, and like 90% of them. So yeah, I said, well, if the United States legalized cannabis and let you have full dignity, full right to recreational use of cannabis, but you had to promise to quit all other drugs, do you think that's realistic, or would you just smoke the free cannabis and then you're not free, but you're free to do it, the legal cannabis, and then still use the other stuff behind the back, or do you think you could actually support a program like that, because it would be good enough and it would make sense and you'd be supporting a good thing? I said something like that was something like what my spill was like, and I went around and I interviewed everybody about that, and everybody said, you know what? Yeah, totally. If America were to give me full dignity and like that, I could use cannabis as a drug to overcome my addiction, kind of like cigarette smokers that chew the gum and all that stuff, but use the cannabis, and then instead of ending somewhere where you don't have anything, you end on just having cannabis, and you get to have it for the rest of your life. So we know that humans have smoked cannabis since forever ago, but when Haile Selassie was crowned Emperor of Ethiopia, fulfilling Revelations 5:5 as the Lion of Judah, with the rise of the Rastafari, Babylon got super upset, and by 1931, I think it was, the United States made cannabis illegal. Didn't make it illegal. They did it sneaky. They made you had to have a tax stamp, and they didn't give that out to anybody, officially making it illegal. And they did all these propagandas saying that there was this crazy new thing coming from Mexico, and it's this new marijuana, this new Mexican marijuana weed, and these crazy Mexicans, and they show crazy Mexicans stoned shooting everybody up. So that's why I don't like to call it marijuana, which means Mary Jane in Spanish, because it's a racial slur. It really is. It was a name that the United States government either gave or promoted for the purpose of making it look like this dirty Mexican thing, And that's not true. It's all through the Bible, all through history. There's, what's his name? Xinhua, whatever, of China was the first documented evidence, which was like long, long time ago. But if you if you look at my playlist or my video on cannabis in the Bible, you could, and you agree with that theory that it's cannabosum, which evolves to cannabis in Hebrew, and that was all through the Bible too. Sweet cinnamon, sweet calamus, and all that. Then it's existed even longer ago than that. So humans are all, it's like transgender people. There's always been transgender people. There's transgender animals. It's natural. Same thing. People have always smoked cannabis. There always will. Babylon always freaks out when something steals their spotlight because they're narcissists. Narcissists can't take the spotlight. They always need the attention. and their program has to be the only program as they understand it, because they can't branch out in their thinking. They have no empathy. But bringing making what I think that America should do with our drug problems is legalize recreational cannabis with full dignity, and legalize ibogaine. I don't know if you've heard of ibogaine. I'll leave a link in the description box of a documentary about ibogaine and some studies about ibogaine. Ibogaine originally was a root that the shamans of Africa used, but what they've done is they've learned you can use it to treatment for addictions, cigarette smoking, heroin, or it's even to help people with crack cocaine and possibly fentanyl, the new problem. But it's kind of like an LSD trip. It's just a real intense 1 day journey that you go on, and then afterwards, your addiction, you don't have withdrawals. You know how normally when heroin addicts stop, they have withdrawals for a while. Or cigarette smokers or alcohol or all this. You're just fixed. Yeah, there's no withdrawals. You no longer desire to do that. You can now see the light on why it's a bad idea, and you're done. Your addiction's over. But the United States makes that illegal. They've made cannabis illegal or out to be this horrible drug, and now it's mostly legal, and it's not this horrible drug. It's more realistic, which is progress. But now we need to also legalize ibogaine. But right now, the Republicans, in the midst of all these things, they've had this brilliant new idea with our fentanyl problem. They're going to bomb the United States. They want to go over the border and just bomb our allies, Mexico, because that's where most of the fentanyl comes from. The ingredients come from China, and then the fentanyl comes from, so I'm not so sure if these things are always coincidences. When one thing of progress happens, the Republicans freak out because they're so scared of any change or anything that isn't just come to Jesus and be born again, and you're done. But yeah, they want to bomb Mexico. It's like, what the hell? Look around. Do you really like most Mexicans are fantastic people by a long shot. Talk about racism, but it's Trump. It's not. It's the Trump element. Trump is always so conducive to any hatred or mistrust towards Mexico. That's like that was his original campaign. Hey, if you don't like Mexicans, vote for me. Donald Trump. So that's what I think we ought to do with and I have some other ideas too. Like have fruit trees and nut trees and things like that the homeless people can eat. Have a camp outside of all the cities where the homeless people can live, and give them dignity, because and give them programs. Just we need to change that whole thing. Instead of making it so there's this big wall you have to climb over to get to freedom from those problems, and give anybody that really wants to change a program and an ibogaine treatment, and and if they need to smoke marijuana, let them do that. Maybe encourage the ibogaine first, so they don't need anything. But that's more like what I would do if I was in charge.